This is a show about facing fear, unlocking courage, and taking action.
Courage isn't necessarily a daunting thing.
It's going to give you more purpose. It's going to give you more drive.
It feels like making a courageous decision is going to get you closer to who you aspire to be.
It's knowledge plus faith plus action equals courage.
More people need to be reminded that they can do anything. Your neighbor asked me the other day, wasn't it hard starting a business during COVID? And I said, not really. It was what I had to do. Time is fleeing. I better be courageous because I don't know how long I have to be courageous.
So, most of you know I have a 12-year-old son, rising seventh grader. I mean, it's always in my head it's gonna be my little guy, right? But like this week, it's summer break, and this week, somehow, some way, we've started to like delicately hoodwink him. And at 6 a.m., we've been getting up, the two of us, and this week has been 20 laps in the pool, and him and I are going together, and we're like. It's a 10-minute drive to the place. It's part of like the bonding experience, the whole thing, and everyone else is doing laps and we're doing laps. And I thought of my guest this morning because I'm like, perfect example of most people don't, but you do. And Bart, I'm so happy you're here, man. I've learned so much from you already. And there's what are we 2 months in, 6 weeks in on our love story together?
6 weeks. That's about it. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But I feel like the universe rarely. You're better at it than me. I felt like there was joy for us. So Bart and I both had a chance to speak down in Florida for a group called Pan American Life Insurance Group. They were cool, and I think we were cool. And like you got to sit in on me doing my thing, and then I got to stick around and hear you do your thing. I took so many notes from you, and so just mad props to you and your style. But your whole thing is like most people don't, but you do. And maybe we could start there. So yeah, for one, I thought about you this morning in the pool. Maybe that's weird, but like I thought about you. It made me excited that we were going to get a chance to jam today.
Yeah. It's easier not to with you and your son. It's easier to sleep in. It's easier to hit the alarm. But you are starting something new. One, it's bonding with your son. And two, it's good for you. And most people aren't doing that, especially on vacation. So hats off to you and props to you and thank you. And I'm going to give you some credit likewise, Ryan, as I shared whenever I had interviewed on my podcast. There's a lot of speakers that I see, and I can appreciate different styles. I can appreciate different content. And sometimes I'm envious because they're so good. And sometimes I really like them because they're so good. Ryan, with you, I really like you because you're so good and you're so real. And whenever we first sat down, I'll never forget, you were like, hey, my name's Ryan. Are you one of the other speakers? Yeah. Hey, nice to meet you. Go get him, dude. In fact, I recorded that you saying before I went on stage, like, go get him, brother. And that just shows the realness and the authenticity of you. So I'm thrilled that we're able to talk. I'm thrilled that we're connected. And thank you for exposing me to all of your listeners worldwide.
All right, here's the deal also, because if I'm in my car right now and I'm listening to this, I want this to be super clear to the listener. This is not, I'm not good with, I'm going to go on your show and you're going to come on my show. Like I would never do. It's like this you're on today. Like I'm grateful. I brought you on here because I think everyone could just learn from you. And like I've learned from you. And it's funny, I'm reminded of Billy Collins, who's one of my business partners, Bart. And we in the leadership land, we talk about your job as a leader is not just to be into active listening. It's about active remembering.
Mm.
It's not just about listening, it's remembering. And I'm telling you folks, Bart is an expert in like watching him on stage remember people's names and weave them into his content. Not that he's trying to be gimmicky. He's doing it because he remembers their name. And maybe this is what comes with 30 years in hospitality. Like maybe this comes, can you give Bart, like, just like give us like the quick origin story of how you got from your universe as you started in hospitality to most people don't, but you do.
Certainly. Of course, Ryan. I was in hospitality for quite some time, most recently Ritz-Carlton for 16 years. And something happened to me personally about the 15 and a half year into it. I had a heart attack during routine nose surgery. And there's a long story that goes with that. But just when that happens to you, it kind of readjusts your thinking to what is really important. Time is fleeing. I better be courageous, in quotes, now, because I don't know how long I have to be courageous and to do and to share good messages. COVID also happened right after that. And things were going astray in the luxury world of hospitality. So I made a decision. I could allow COVID to happen for me instead of to me. So I took an early package that gave me a runway to be able to help share better ideas with people. Hospitality taught me so much. I love the Ritz-Carlton experience. It was a little bit limiting because, Ryan, I would share good thoughts with my customers. I would share good thoughts with my team. I would share good thoughts with our hotels. But then that was really it. And so what I found is that more people need to hear good thoughts and good messages. More people need to be reminded that they can do anything. More people need positivity. So all of these things started to kind of formulate. And someone asked me, a neighbor asked me the other day, wasn't it hard starting a business during COVID? And I said, not really. It was what I had to do. There was no other option. I was very fortunate to have, and I know I shared a copy of my book with you and vice versa, but I had a book that I wrote about 12 years ago that is called Most People Don't and Why You Should. Ryan, it's just a collection of little stories about my observations during travel, my observations in life of when people do, when they take action, better things happen. What was happening very organically is it started taking off and people heard about this and they said, well, could you speak on this topic? I'd have to get approval from Ritz-Carlton. Is it okay? But as long as it wasn't to a competitor, they said yes. So I knew I had something to fall back on or fall forward into. All of these things, the heart attack, COVID, having the book, it was just at the right time 7 years ago at this point to say, I'm all in. I'm betting on myself. There is nothing else that I could be doing right now. It was not even a choice in my mind.
Isn't it funny how obviously when you're in the courage business, you're in the fear business. Like we say we're fear fighters.
Mhm.
But I agree with you. There are times when people get so caught up on ceilings and they're not looking at the floor. Like, how far am I willing to go for an idea when I believe in it? And most people don't have the conviction to like, hey, I'm up against the wall, but I so believe in this. I know in my heart that the world needs this. And if not me, then who? And when you that your story deeply resonates with me because I feel there's been times in my career and life, I still feel that way, by the way, where it's like, if not me, then who? I'm gonna keep going down this path, trust the universe. Do you see it that way for you at all?
I do. I do. And I've had a lot of friends along the way give me the encouragement and share with me some thoughts and ideas that kind of keep on going. Then, in addition to every single time I present to a group, I'm doing the research in advance and then I'm getting to know people. People are coming up to me afterwards. People are sending me messages. So I continue to learn what I need to do to help people more. And so when it comes to the universe, this was last year. My wife, Terry, who you met, is now full-time assisting me. We own the business together. And since she started, shout out to her, it has quadrupled in revenue. It is just skyrocketing because she is helping me focus. When we're asking about the universe question and how I felt compelled, she sadly lost her job in 2024. And it was a good job, and it gave us a little bit of a safety security net, and it gave us health insurance benefits. So if for some reason I didn't get 10 speaking gigs this month, but that's okay. We had her salary. Well, sadly, when she lost her job, not for her, not nothing she had done wrong. It was not her fault. But sadly, the organization was changing and the position was being eliminated. A friend of ours said, I have an idea. Why doesn't Terry work with you full time? And we gave all of the objections. Well, the benefits, the health benefits. And then our friend Jim said, well, benefits aside, why wouldn't she do this with you? And as soon as he just said that, benefits aside, that's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, whatever thousands of dollars it is. Take that out of the picture. Is there any other reason why she wouldn't do this with you? And we both said no. And it has given her an additional spark. It has given me additional fuel for my spark. And now she's traveling with me. She's our vice president of partnerships and alliances. She's doing the video recording. She's helping with the newsletter distribution. She's setting up partnerships. So that was the universe saying, because imagine whenever she lost her job, and this is not private, but anytime someone loses their job, you feel bad. Oh man, what did I do wrong? You kind of lose your self-worth. And our friends saw that. And when they suggested, why don't you do this together? And so Ryan, now I am seeing her approaching friends with statements that we have shared on stage. I am now seeing her quote things that she and I came up with that would be the topic for the next presentation. I see her now coming to me, Bart, do you have any gratitude stones in your pocket? I met this amazing couple and I want to give them one. All of that is the universe.
I love it.
And just the other day, we were driving somewhere. We were on a call with a friend, and they said, "How is it? How's it going working together?" And they asked her the question, and she said, "It's so much fun. The spark, the universe, everything coming together. It was meant to be the universe." It's a long answer, but my thoughts.
I have no surprise that Terry went to Churchill. She's a Winston Churchill bulldog. I mean, and I'm sorry everybody for a little inside baseball, but the minute I met Terry, we quickly pieced together. It was like, oh, where are you from? The DC area. I'm from the DC area. What part? Maryland. I'm from like you see where this is going.
Potomac. What street?
We went to the same high school.
What street?
Yeah. What night were you at Potomac Pizza? I mean, so it was cool. It was very cool to meet Terry and learn about your kids and dog. And, I don't know if you want me to say the names, but like loved like learning about your life. And it's cool. You get to do it together and you're designing this life together. And again, most people don't, but you do. I mean, you're taking your same advice. And Bart, I find, what's cool about what we get to do is there's days where we actually, our job is to like share what we've learned. That's really the only way to describe it. And there's other days where we're in learning mode and we're like thinking about things and you're tinkering and you get to play philosophizer a little bit. You look at things and you're like, oh, that's interesting. And like I said, I've learned so much from you. Even this morning, the newsletter that went, I shared something that you had shared it on the stage, which it was this awesome shot of green bananas. And it was when you were green, you were growing. And when you were ripe, you were starting to rot. I was like, yes, give me more of that. And it's not just the insight bar, but like one of the things I find myself and listeners, like one of the things that you should constantly be auditing yourself is I think there's 3 types of people in the world, right? There's people that you gain energy from. There's people that drain your energy. And then there's the maintain energy people. So it's like gain energy folks. Are you a gain energy? Are you a drain energy? Or are you a maintain energy? And for me, I think we know gain energy is a great place to be. I gain so much energy from you, Bart. You teach me. I feel you care. I have my stone still with me, which is awesome. Like it's in service. It's not surprising that you come from hospitality.
Yeah.
And again, folks, like listen to Bart's podcast, listen to the stories that he's sharing. But be honest with yourself on the drain energy folks. Be honest with yourself on the maintain energy folks. Because I think maintain energy folks, if you're not moving on from drain energy folks, that's kind of on you outside of like immediate family. Like you can't really, I'm sure there's some family member. Okay, you can't cancel. Let's not cancel family members here, maybe. But they're probably draining energies. And then, it's the maintain energy folks. Like if you've got space in your life and we're only here for a short period of time, how are you going to surround yourself with the right types of folks that continue to drive you forward and keep moving you forward? Bart, when you think of like most people don't, but you do, give us like just one small thing that sort of follows that message that we could be doing every day to move ourselves forward.
It can be summarized into, I believe, kindness, right? Most people don't embrace kindness. Now, there's a whole lot of arms that kind of go along with that. And whenever I present on the topic of kindness, I share an acronym. K stands for kind over right. I stands for include others. N stands for notice, observe, and over deliver. And then the D stands for doing great. And then there's additional NESS, but I'll just kind of stop with that KIND. If you can live your life with kindness, because most people don't, it's going to elevate how you feel. And there's all of these studies, Ryan, you probably have heard of them before, but if you do one act of kindness a day for 7 days in a row, it will increase your personal happiness by 8%. So here this is, doing something for others is going to make me feel good, not in a selfish way, but in a very proactive, help the universe kind of way. And those little things can be truly so little. I was at the health club this morning, and I wanted to make sure, because I'm going there often, and I wanted to make sure that I knew Lydia's name, who was assisting me. And she told me her name. Oh, my name's Lydia. She called me Bert by mistake. I said, well, no, my name's Bart. Tell me again your name. Lydia. Lydia. L-I or L-Y? L-Y. L-Y-D-I-A. Every single time I go in there now, when I'm not traveling, I'm going to use Lydia's name. I'm going to ask. I found out who another gentleman is, one of the coaches. His name is Chris. I know Susan at the reception area, and also Chablis. Great. So those 4 people, I'm going to use their name every time that I see them. And I hope whenever I scan my little card that Bart Berkey is going to pop up, and maybe they will say, "Ah, Bart, welcome back. Bart, how are you today?" Because I want to have that relationship. But that little element of me caring enough to learn Lydia's name, to use it, is kindness. And think about where that will lead. It's going to lead to so many different things. The kind over right. I shared this story, and I can't remember if you had heard this or not, but a cheeseburger without cheese is the story. Imagine going into a restaurant and order a cheeseburger without cheese. What would you hope the answer would be? And we'll play along, Ryan. What do you want to hear?
You would like a cheeseburger without cheese? My pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure. Certainly. I'll do it. Easy to do. No problem. Do you want fries with that? And kind over right aligns with that philosophy of, I'm not going to correct you and tell you, you're telling me you want a hamburger.
Right.
You go into a coffee place and you order a small coffee, and someone doesn't correct you and tell you, well, that's a tall coffee. Someone is zooming past you in traffic, going on the side of the road, and you are tempted to be right and pull in front of them so they can't go to the side of the road. But then you think, I'm going to be kind over being right, because maybe they have a medical emergency. Maybe they need to get to the doctor or the hospital. Someone is having an allergic reaction. I choose to be kind over needing to be right. So that little philosophy, K, that's it. We're only on K. But think, Ryan, most people don't do kindness. Most people don't embrace kindness. So now, if you can just abide by the K, there are going to be 1,000 things today that you could think of, I have a choice. I could be kind over being right. You bumped into me. I was waiting in line before you. No, be kind. Go ahead. I have time. No worries. Right. So that's just one. I stands for include others, which is not only including people at conferences, at meetings, but it's also, well, what do you think, Ryan? It's not all about me talking today. I want to include you in your ideas. So that's so powerful. And then the notice, anticipate, and over deliver, I think, is one of my favorites, because if we observe, you observe every single day, Ryan, I observe. That's how we learn. That's how we get it's the retain, the gain, or what was the other one?
Maintain.
The maintain. That's how we gain, by observing people. And the point with this notice, anticipate, and over deliver is, what can we do to over deliver for each other? Not just deliver. Sadly, my father-in-law is in the hospital. And the other day, I'm working at the coffee shop, and on weekends, they sell these little bouquet of flowers. And I thought, you know what? I can buy a $15 bouquet of flowers for my father-in-law. Now, I didn't get to see him. I'll see him as soon as we're done with this call. But that's just one little element of over-delivering. Deliver could be texting someone on their birthday, happy birthday. But over-delivering, Ryan, most people don't call. Pick up the phone and call. Right? You got their phone number anyway. So there's so many things that relate to kindness that will help people to take action.
I also think the bar, it's like almost sad how low it is. Like what happened to us, like the expectation bar right now for all of these things. Like just sending someone a voice text is over delivering on their birthday. Hearing your voice, a little video, these little moments, and it's not right. It's for good reasons. You're not trying to over deliver just for the purposes of over delivering. It's caring. It's just the whole acronym of kind. Give me the D again. What does the D stand
Yeah,
for?
the D is doing great. And that is a reminder. I mean, there's a story with it, Ryan. Do you want to
Yes, go
summarize
for
the
it.
story?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So D stands for doing great. And it's a reminder to make sure that we are telling people that we care about, because our superpower is making people feel a certain way. We want people to feel good. I believe that that's our purpose. We can make people feel good by doing kindness and by doing other things. I'll summarize this story. I was driving to Pittsburgh last holiday season to visit my mother. She's 89, almost 90, lives by herself. So we were excited. It was me, my wife, our 2 dogs, and our son who lives at home. Our daughter still lives in Hawaii. And business was good. We were content taking a few days off, just like you would on vacation, like you just got back from vacation. So I'm flipping through the radio as I'm driving, and I'm looking for some entertainment. I come across a comedian named Tom Papa. And Tom Papa is talking about the holiday season, and you might be tempted to overindulge. But you know what? If you are hungry and there's a good cookie there, it's okay. Eat the cookie. He was almost giving permission to us. Then he makes this statement, Ryan, and to your listeners, he makes this statement. He said, by the way, you're doing great. In his very fun, authentic, comedic voice. You're doing great. And all of a sudden, it hit me right in the middle of my heart, Ryan. Here I am being influenced, getting goosebumps, feeling tears swell up in my eyes because a comedian, through one-way communication, through radio, made me feel a certain way. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't think I needed to hear that. Fast forward 2 months forward, I'm presenting to a group, 500 students outside of Denver, Colorado. It's Future Business Leaders of America. Great group of high school students, 500 people, kids that want to get better. I thought, if it made me feel that good on the radio, how would it be in person? So I'm on the stage, and then I share with them this story. I said, I just want you to know you are doing great. You are doing great. And I said, we're going to do this little exercise. Turn to the person next to you. And most of them were sitting in their high schools that they were familiar with. I thought it would last 30 seconds. It started to last 4 minutes, and then extended to 5 minutes, and extended to 6 minutes. Students from one high school were literally getting up, walking across the auditorium, and going to the high school that beat them in the state football championship and said, by the way, I want you guys to know, I'm sorry that you beat us, but you did well. You're doing great. It was just a miraculous type of feeling to see high school students appreciating each other. As you know, I share gratitude stones when I meet great people, and I was sharing them from the stage. Well, for some reason, they felt compelled to pull me off the stage and to tell me, Bart, you're doing great. Mr. Berkey, you're doing great. And while they didn't have gratitude stones to give me in return, they're going through their backpacks, searching for anything, giving me sticks of gum, giving me crinkled up peanut butter and jelly sandwiches from the day before, saying, Mr. Bart, you're doing great. Wonderful. So I thought at that point, wow, this can really work. But I left these students with a message. I said, I never want anything to be one and done. Anytime I present to any group, it's never one and done. We are stuck. We're connected. So I shared my email. I shared my mobile phone number. And I told them, if you need to hear it again, let me know. Here are my contact details. We conclude, right? They clap. They're happy. They're feeling good. Great. I start driving to the airport. And all of a sudden, my phone dings. And the subject line says, will you tell me one more time? As soon as I saw that subject line, I knew I couldn't give a quick little voice response. I pulled over, and it was from this kid named Ben. And I typed out a very nice, long, lengthy email about why I'm proud of him and why I was grateful that he was being vulnerable. And if you need to hear it again tomorrow, Ben, let me know. I'm happy to share it with you. Hit send. Get back on the road, Ryan. all of a sudden, ding, immediate response. And Ben's response was, "Thank you, Mr. Bart. I never hear this from my parents at home. I don't hear it
Uh-oh.
from kids at school. Kids pick on me. I dress differently. My hair is different colors. Thank you, Mr. Bart. I really needed to hear it." Right? Those 3 words.
Love it.
Simple, simple, simple. So, of course, I send him back a response and I let him know that there's other resources other than me. So just as I share this story, Ryan, to you and to your listeners, people are going to remember this story about how it affected this kid, Ben, and how he began to reach out. So it affected me. So here I'm traveling now all across the country, all over the globe, and the thought of Ben pops into my mind. So I'm in Nashville presenting, and I take a picture of something and I text it off to Ben. "Ben, I just want you to know you're doing great. I'm thinking of you. I'm in Nashville. I hope you're doing great." Send. I did this for like 6 months sporadically. Whenever the thought of Ben would come up, whenever things were so good for me, I was like, I hope they're good for Ben also. If I can contribute, if I can just tell him those 3 words, let me do that. I got a little worried because toward the end of the 6 months, I was asking for delivery receipts and read receipts because it was being delivered, but he stopped reading them. Got super worried. Did research, found out the name of his school district, called up the guidance counselor. I know this sounds strange. I'm a motivational speaker. I just met this kid. I don't even know if I met him in person, but I presented to him and I'm worried about him. And immediately she said, "Thank you for caring. I can't share many details with you, but I can tell you that he is fine. We are aware of what he needs and we are doing our best to show that we care." Right? Like,
Yeah, freedom, a little freedom.
yes. But I'm sharing this, Ryan. Thank you for asking and allowing me and with your listeners, because those 3 little words mean so much and they're easy to say and they're easy to remember. You're doing great. And so as I continue to travel, I presented to a restaurant group. Some of their senior leaders had heard me a few months before. I'm walking through the dining area and all of a sudden I hear, "Bart, Bart, you're doing great. You're doing great." And so, like, again, for all of us, you're doing great. Don't be afraid to share that with your colleagues, with your friends, with your spouse's partners, with your relatives, with your kids, with the teachers. Like, let people know how you feel about them and that you're appreciative. It doesn't cost anything, but boy, is it memorable. Those 3 words, "You're doing great."
Well, awesome. And as I sit here thinking about our time together, first of all, let's review this because this is a great kind stands for kind over right, right? And by the way, there's my takeaway from that one also, and there's been times, man, in last lives, I was called like plus one. And I had like, oh, plus one, like I'm just gonna plus one the situation. I like plus oneing for clients because I think that's the expectation more. But when you're plus oneing people, like you're commenting like, oh, you want a hamburger, not a cheeseburger, right? Kind of right. There's almost like a grace, there's peace that comes with that too. Just let it go. That's the K, including others is the I, right? It's not just about you. N is notice, anticipate, over deliver, and then D is doing great. Doing great. Sometimes it's telling yourself that, by the way, and sometimes it's sharing that forward. And right, it's both. Yes.
Yeah, and Ryan, and I should have worn that T-shirt today, but I was at a conference last year, and someone had a T-shirt that was printed backwards. So if you looked in the mirror, that's the only time that you could see it. And they suggested, "Bart, you know what? You should get 'You're Doing Great' printed backwards." So it is a reminder. I do have several shirts now that say "You're Doing Great." And if you see it and we're walking past each other, it's going to be backwards. But if I look in the mirror, it's going to tell me, a reminder to me, "You're doing great." And it's silly. And it makes me laugh and smile because it's fun and it's funny. We also had a little sticker made up and I gave one to my mother. And sometimes she remembers things very well and sometimes she doesn't. But usually when I call, she will say, "Bart, are you the one that gave me that little sticker that says something about I'm good?" And I'm like, "You mean the one that says you're doing great?" Yeah, that one, that one. I have that in my bathroom mirror. So every single morning I see that and it's a reminder, Bart. Did you give me that sticker that says something like I'm like, yeah, that was me.
That's me, Mom.
But right, yeah, tell us, right? Tell yourself, tell each other, Ryan, you're doing great.
So I need your help. I need your
Yeah.
help on something. 'Cause when I think of most people don't, but you do, my initial first thought is what it should be. It's like again, this morning going swimming with Micah at 6 a.m. and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of me, by the way, too. Like I don't want to wake up at 6 a.m., but I'm doing it. I'm staying firm and we're going and we're doing it together and we're connecting and then we're sharing a lane and all the things. And then on the other side, there's been times where I've shared with my son, when you compare, beware. When you compare, beware. Like, go on your own journey, right? Don't get caught up in someone else's journey. And we do this in corporate, right? Like, why did that person get the job? Or should I be there already? Or at this age, I thought I'd be there. Like, when you compare, beware. But most people don't, but you do. There is a little bit of, hey, actually, you're right. Like, I'm proud of myself because I'm doing something that others don't. How would you take these two thoughts and keep me in the safe zone to utilize both of them? I feel like most people don't, but you do. You
Mhm.
can't not compare yourself.
Yeah, in that with that statement, because you're talking
Right.
about most people. Most people, the name of the book, Most People Don't and Why You Should, okay, was one component. Most people don't, but you do is the name of the podcast. There's other alterations of most people don't that will be coming forth. The why you should doesn't relate to someone telling you should do this. And when we use those words should, it usually has a connotation that someone is pointing a finger. Ryan, you should do this. You should exercise more. You should plus one everything. You should. It's not in that text. When I talk about should, why you should, it is coming from your own heart and in your own mind of things that you know you want to do, that you could do, that you will do, that you should do. There's things that we want to do. We want to go on vacation. There's things that we need to do, pay taxes. But then there's these things in between. It's in between the want and the need that no one is forcing you, Ryan. No one is forcing you. No one is telling you should exercise in the morning with your son. But you have identified that as a should. Okay. The should component then relates to benefits. And when we look at the negative consequences of not doing your should, and I don't want this to be too complicated, not exercising right now, your age, your health, your kids, not exercising is not horribly devastating. It's not severely consequential. There's no real negative consequences to not doing it. But you have identified if I can do this with my son, if I should do this with my son, I decide the benefits are there because I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to teach my son lessons. We're going to be able to bond together. We're having a shared experience together. And that's the tricky part, that there are things that we know we should do that we don't do them because we don't need to do them and we don't necessarily want to do them. Right? Waking up at 6 a.m. to go swimming on vacation. Who wants to freaking do that? Right? You are not recovering from heart surgery, so no one is telling you need to do that, Ryan. You have identified the should, the component that if I don't do it, there's not horrible consequences. But when I do it, man, that is the sweet spot because the benefits are glorious. And that separates you from, I'm not going to say from everyone else, but that separates from you doing, it separates the you that doesn't want to. And it's a really deep conversation. I'm hoping I'm explaining it the way I believe.
You are, and what you're helping me understand too. Like when I think about our definition of courage of knowledge, faith, and action, another way we talk about that is knowledge is to think, faith is to feel, action is to do. And so one of the things you help me just think through here is when I use when you compare, beware, often it starts because you're not doing, you're observing somebody else do.
Yeah.
Right? You're observing somebody like, well, that's not fair, or like that wasn't fair. That person got something. It's like no, like, but when you just stay locked in and focused on the thing that you should do and you do it,
Yes.
then it's like, okay, hey, take pride in this. Like you just did something that other people aren't. When I hear you say it, I go back to are you a maintain energy, a drain energy, or a gain energy? I always gain energy from when you say it, but I like the fact that it's like, hey, really, when you compare beware, like the real question I'm asking folks when I say that is there something that you should be doing that you're not? Don't worry
Yes.
about that part.
Yes. Yeah. Regardless of everyone else, is there
Right.
something I'll share with you? A couple of my should do's, Ryan. One of my should do's is to be a better dog owner for my dogs. Okay. Better dog owner. And that means walking them. That means playing with them. That means giving them treats. That means stimulating their minds. Great. So every single day, I'm getting a reminder on my phone to be a better dog owner for my dogs. Sounds really silly, but that's important to me. Okay. And how can I take it from intention to action? I know I should. Dogs probably don't want to be inside all day, and I'm busy. I'm so busy. We're so busy. But can I take time to focus in on my dogs to become a better dog owner because it's something that I know I should do? One example. Another example is I know I should be a better son to my mother. I'll talk about my mother a lot. So I'm getting reminded on my phone to be a better son from my mother because it's a should do. No one is telling me, Bart, you suck at being a son. No one is telling me that I need to do certain things, but I know that I want to. So already this morning, I called my mother video call on the way to, well, I don't know if I should say that. I video called my mother, not while I was driving, but I video called my mother and I told her, Mom, you remember that story that you told me yesterday? And I'll share this briefly with you. And it was on my LinkedIn yesterday, Ryan, about when she grew up in the 50s that they didn't have enough money for Novocaine. And so they would have cavities filled without Novocaine. But because her family knew they didn't have enough money, they felt bad. They couldn't afford Novocaine, but what they could afford was an ice cream cone after the dentist appointment. She shared that story with me. And so I've shared it with LinkedIn people. It's now 3,000 views, but that is, and I told her about it today. So that is one of my attempts to be a better son for my mother, to talk to her, not about how's the weather, do you have enough food, did you take your pills? Mom, tell me about growing up again. Tell me, you were telling me a story of this. Can you tell me a little bit more? That's me being a good son. That is me being a better son and doing my best to be a better son. That is a should do.
There's all these little moments too, like, am I being a good son to my mom? And I like that you've got reminders or messages. You're using technology
Yes.
to like nudge you into those moments. The more we spend time together, just these, and again, I'm an alliteration. You know this about me now that I
I'm
love.
with you. I
I
appreciate
love
you for that.
I love words that I love. Be like, what's like if I really think about the takeaway of the conversation, there's these four S's that are popping for me.
Yes.
Where I think we're just very much aligned, and I'm still learning how you do you. But number one is story. Like you're such a good storyteller, and it's like we remember because of story, right? I know you've got. Well, give me one that. Well, give me something. Give me the nugget. I know you've got one.
What are you, a buffalo or a goose? My dog's feet smell like Fritos. Now to next. The faster you want to go, the farther ahead you need to look. I mean, there's thousands from my observations of stories that I have learned that I can then apply and share with others so they can remember certain stories, right? And Novocaine, right? Ice cream over Novocaine. Like that's a story, right? Ryan, you and I, we've talked about stories, so I'm with you. Go ahead.
Give me the statistic though on we remember stories over
Oh, sorry, 22 times more than data.
22
20?
times more than data. Oh
Yes.
man, that's just okay. C-suite.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? 22 times more than data. So what I think the power story we are so aligned on too. I don't think I put this together. I probably should have, but until today, systems. Like you're so good at systems. I have my systems of like the definition of courage. I think you're like to me kind override, including others, notice, anticipate, over deliver, doing great. That is a system. It is a shortcutting system, right? To like help me get where I need to go faster or
Perfect.
feel something faster. I love it's not just the story itself, it's the story with the system. Pull the Ryan Berman string. I have I don't think I presented it the day that we both spoke, but I have one like if you want to be a great teammate, You have to learn to be a great teammate.
Yeah.
And to me, systems and shortcuts is valuing people's time. It's excellent, excellent stuff. Third S is service. And I mean, what a surprise coming out of hospitality, right? What's great about you, Bart, is that you're constantly looking for opportunities to like help others, remind them that they're doing great. You're like a detective on the lookout, making sure people have the tools they need to feel the way that they feel, which I think is the last S is just seen, like just being seen. Like, have you, like, people, the bar is really sadly low. And is the bar low because everyone is kind of bouncing around through life in some semblance of Maslow, just trying to get through their day, which is where I think your comment about the cookie and the comedian at the book title, the cookie
Yeah.
and the comedian,
Yeah.
making our job, make others feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of other lines, and some of them, like the banana story, right? If you're green, you're wrong. That came from Ray Kroc. So when I was presenting, I probably forgot who it came from. But anyway, so Ray Kroc. And I will continue to look for things that I like. Like you had shared something about you don't believe you're a motivational speaker. You believe you are a motivational what?
I'm a conversational speaker.
A conversation, like freaking love that, right? And yes, I have your book here, and yes, I continue to look through it. Thank you very much. Return on Courage, Ryan Berman has taught me a lot, and I'm sharing your stories, giving you credit. Hey, look, my friend Ryan believes that it's not about the greatest of all time, but it could be the greatest of all teams. So let's look at, right? So trust me, man, like you have impacted me tremendously as well. But I want to get back to your answer, Ryan. If we use the term be where your feet are, I am here now. There is nothing else that matters to me than Ryan Berman and your listeners on this podcast. There is nothing else that matters. I'm here. I think people are so busy and then they get so into their own heads of so many things to worry about. And I'm doom scrolling and there's nothing positive and I don't feel well. Well, what if we just stopped to be where our feet are and to look for awe, AWE. And I learned this from my friends at A Place to Be, a local organization here. I'm going to give credit to Kim and Tom for that. I finished working out this morning and I stepped out moving to my car, and I had never seen that there was a pond in this commercial office park. Had never seen it before. But today I wanted to stop. Yes, I have a proposal due. And yes, I'm doing a podcast and I got to get home and shower and I have to make sure the dogs are good and get the car inspected. But I stopped and I looked at two birds that were poking around, playing around on the water. And for a moment, that was my I was traveling recently and it was one of the clubs for airline clubs, right? Whenever you're delayed, if you have access because you travel. So I'm in this airline club and our flight continues to get delayed and delayed and delayed. So I'm observing people and I'm trying to see what I can learn, see who I could help, see what I could help someone feel better, do better, get better. And I noticed this one gentleman and I said hello to him and I introduced him, I complimented him, did a story about him. His name is Jalen. I can't even remember what city it is, Ryan, but that doesn't matter. But I observed him. He was essentially a bus person for this club. And everyone was getting their sandwiches and desserts and snacks and putting their plates everywhere. And his job was to go around and bus every single plate. And sometimes people were getting 10 plates, 20, I mean, just outrageous. But what I noticed about Jalen is that he had longer hair and he was wearing an earbud, just one. And he was happy. And as he did his job, he was swaying around a little bit and he was smiling at people, seeing if anyone would look at him. And he was just so happy being a bus person at an airport lounge at 11 o'clock at night. He was happy. So I thought, you know what? Giving him a gratitude stone right away would not probably be as impactful. But what I did was this. I got my paper cup, plastic cup was empty, and I had a couple of extra dollars on me. $7 to be exact. And I crinkled them up And when he wasn't looking, I put him in the dirty dish bin. And I sat back and I just waited for his reaction. And as he walked up, he's still happy. He's still happy. He looks down. He looks around like, is this someone's? Kind of a right. And I tell him,
Yeah.
good job, right? Thumbs up. Good job. And his whole demeanor got even brighter. And guess what? The rest of his team, the people that were behind the scenes in the bartender, in the kitchen area, all of them were so happy for him. And the manager came out and said, did you just do that for Jalen? I said, not an easy job, but boy, is he happy. And he makes people around him gain energy, feel better. I saw that and I wanted to recognize that. And by the way, here's a gratitude stone, Jalen. And that probably meant more to him than the $7, but it's taking time to stop to think about others, to be where your feet are. And what I find, and Ryan, why I think I do this, is that I have the tendency to worry. I have the tendency to let the negative thoughts come into my mind. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this doesn't happen? And as I'm learning from people like you, I'm trying to do my best to fill my head with good thoughts. And when I can do something for someone else, I'm not worried about my flight is delayed again and again and again. I'm so freaking tired. I'm not going to walk into the door until 2 a.m. I am thinking, I did something for $7, plus a gratitude stone, to make someone happy. Get out of our own minds. Look up, look out, put that phone down, engage with people, talk to people, ask them a question, show appreciation, be kind over right, include others. La, 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 la.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Bart Berkey, everybody. Again, slow down, look for awe. I also love the one act of kindness for 7 straight days increases your happiness by 8%. Did I get that? Did I
Yes,
remember?
sir.
that
Yeah,
right?
and I'll send you this study.
Bart, if people want to connect with you, what's the best place for them to find you?
It's so easy. Most people don't. All one word.com. No apostrophe. Most people don't.com. And the other good news, Ryan, I'm the only Bart Berkey in the world. BART Berkey. Maybe there's more Ryan Bermans talking, but probably not other Ryan Bermans talking about being courageous. So well done there. And thank you for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. And I think I love we ended where we started. I gained so much energy from you. And let's make sure we're keeping each other as you're learning stuff and I'm learning stuff. And I know you know this already, but I literally shared the bananas thing today about, when you're green, you're growing. Keep growing, folks. Thanks for joining us, Bart.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Courageous Podcast. If you enjoy the show, don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts so more people can find us. See you again next week.